Press the bell icon on YouTube and don't miss another update.
Hi, I'm Rahiba Parveen. With me is former bureaucrat turned politician Shah Faesal. Welcome to ThePrint, Dr. Faesal.
Thank you.
So why politics?
Why not politics? Politics is an important space, and finally it's how the change is going to come. So while I did spend 10 precious years of my life in civil services, I do feel that there is a need to enter the political space as well.
So what made you change your mind? You went to US. What happened there? You came back and resigned.
No, it has been going on in my mind, I think, for the last couple of years now. I have been understanding the issues within the state, both the developmental issues as well as the issues related to larger political conflict. Maybe a stint at Harvard University gave me a little bit of time to reflect upon what had been happening in the last so many years, and kind of gave me the courage to leave the service.
So when you topped the civil services, you became this blue-eyed boy of New Delhi. Now you're seen with suspicions by some people. How do you look at that?
I was never a blue-eyed boy of Delhi, so...
No, you would always.
I was not. So I never got something which others did not get in their lives. I got the postings which everybody else gets. It's a perception which gets created. It's narratives which finally get some people feel, oh, he's a blue-eyed boy. Today, some people feel that Delhi looks at me with suspicion. It's all about what is in the minds of the people. For me, I was the same person that time. I'm the same person this time. I keep on watching, looking at this tamasha and, laughing at whatever is happening.
Okay. So tell us, there is Kashmir watchers say the space for mainstream has shrunk in Kashmir. We have NC, we have PDP, and then we have Third Front led by Sajjad Lone. How do you think you're going to be relevant even when you have not joined any of them?
What we have seen in the last 30 years is that this electoral politics has been waxing and waning, and we have seen it going through ups and downs. Of late also we have seen that the participation in electoral politics has gone down, but it has not totally got eliminated. So as long as you have people still getting elected, so electoral politics remains there. It doesn't matter an MLA gets elected with 30 votes or 30,000 votes, he gets elected. My point is that now that the space is there, let's try to utilize it properly. So others are also utilizing it. I do see an availability of a space where I can also work.
So how are you going to give something different to the people of Kashmir?
I think I am too small a person to be dividing people further. There are already people who are dividing people. I think what I am trying to do is to connect back, and my message has been that we need to bring the regions together, we need to bring the communities together, and I have never talked about the various centrisms that people have been talking about. So I essentially am talking about reconciliation. So if at all I end up doing something, I think it will be more about reconciliation than division.
But already there is NC talks about autonomy, PDP has self-rule, and then we know about Sajjad Lone's achievable nationhood. How are you going to say something different? How are you going to do something different?
So you have 1,000 people talking 1,000 things. Everybody who wants to come into politics wants to come with a new formula. People are getting very impatient, and they expect me also, come on, why don't you show your magical formula? We know these formulas, and these formulas have been discussed, dusted, tested, and whatnot. My belief is that there is a Kashmir problem which ultimately will have to be decided as per the aspirations of the people, and that is only possible if two nuclear neighbor countries first agree to talk, and then only finally these solutions will be discussed. We have not even reached that stage yet. Let's first look at the immediate crisis situations that we are faced with. Let's first try to build a political atmosphere where the dialogue can happen. We have not been able to do
you think that is going to happen now? You know, the situation in Kashmir has been going from bad to worse. So how do you see the situation? How can it be changed?
Kashmir's situation as of now is because of a withdrawal from the political space. It's because there's a political vacuum. That's why the violence has become a means of expression, both for the state as well as for the people. So I believe that if there is revival of political process between Delhi and Srinagar, between Delhi and Islamabad, and we try to build a consensus that we need peace in South Asia, peace in Kashmir, peace in Delhi, peace in Islamabad. And I think that's how finally we are going to see de-escalation in the conflict.
But that is something even Hurriyat has been saying. So why didn't you join Hurriyat?
Finally, we need to, I think, have more voices who talk and sync with each other. There will always be differences in the method, but as long as everybody talks about peace for Kashmir, I think everybody is then working, not necessarily working at the cross purpose. Means can be different, but a lot of people, if they believe in the same thing, that we need to have peace in Kashmir, I think, we are all sailing in the same boat.
In one of your interviews, you said that it's too difficult to do what Hurriyat does. What did you mean by that?
I mean, when you look at how Hurriyat operates, or the space they are operating in, it's not an easy space to operate in. It does involve a lot of struggles. I'm a man who has been a part of the state, who has worked within the state, been an officer, seen various administrative positions, and I know how easy it is for us to operate, to talk, and how difficult it is for those who disagree with the state. So it's a huge struggle, and that's why I've been constantly saying that by choosing electoral politics and by choosing to engage with the state, I am definitely opting for an easier path.
You're opting for an easier path. So tell us one more thing, that you were in Mehbooba Mufti government, you were working there. Did you ever try to give her any advice? Where did she go wrong?
As an officer, I don't think I had the mandate, or I had even the authority to approach Chief Minister and give her any advices. But yes, at my own level, through maybe my seniors, if I ever got an opportunity to give feedback, I have always been believing that we need to do something about the crisis situation in Kashmir, and some immediate solutions need to be taken so that the kind of regional disharmony which we have been seeing in the state since, that needs to be addressed.
Do you think Omar Abdullah has gained from Mehbooba Mufti's mistakes?
It always happens that once there is a movement which fails, then there's a counter movement which gains out of it. I think to every action there is an equal and opposite reaction. That's how life goes.
You were going to join national conference. Why didn't you?
I think it was all speculation. As you said, it was a buzz, so it was a buzz. The question of joining any political party would arise only after submitted my resignation. So the entire talk that had been happening for the last 1 year was completely speculation.
But NC leaders, some of them, say that yes, you were going to join them.
I'm not sure about that. I think many other parties were also kind of being associated with me. But I think I've been very, very clear from the day I submitted my resignation that I will be first talking to the people and then taking my decision. And once I got that feedback that people would want me to chart out my independent political journey, it was very easy for me to go, and I didn't take much time to take a decision.
Right. So you say you are going to appeal to the youth. Now there is this huge section of youth who are joining militancy, who are becoming part of these mass funerals. How are you going to appeal to that section of youth? What is your aim? What are you aiming at?
Firstly, as somebody who has experienced conflict for the last 30 years in Kashmir, I believe that we need to create circumstances in Kashmir where the youth are, more so the educated youth, they are not compelled to pick up arms. We have seen momentary periods where we did see de-escalation in the levels of violence. If we are looking at PhD scholars and professors now taking up gun, it reflects the withdrawal of the state. It reflects the confrontational approach which has been adopted by the state in the last few years. And I think the only way, and the onus in fact for bringing change there, lies on the state, not on the people. It's actually the state which will have to take a step and make an initiative and start the political process if we see the de-escalation, if we want to see the de-escalation of violence in the state.
Right. So Pakistan Foreign Minister called upon Mirwais Umar Farooq. Do you think Mirwais did the right thing by responding to his call at this juncture?
I do not think people can refuse taking calls from anybody who call them. I think India's foreign policy should be aware, or rather conscious enough to the crisis in Kashmir, and we should understand.
Only India, not Pakistan?
I mean, the call was from somebody else. So I do not think that these issues should matter at a time when so many people are dying in Kashmir. I think we should be trying to build up the communication and try to talk and try to look at all those avenues of communication which have not been explored so far, and appreciate the dialogue and conversations which have not been happening.
All right. So now you said that it started as a movement and you got such a huge response. Where is this movement going from here now? What do you see? What is in your mind right now?
So we had started, looking at a very, very small constituency. We thought we'll make a very small impact in a very small area, and but finally it ended up, turning into a kind of euphoria, into something where a lot of youngsters, a lot of people from all walks of life, from all regions of the state, kind of are coming around and backing me up and telling me that let's try to do something. We may not be in huge numbers at the moment, but the kind of energy which I'm looking at and which I'm actually finding in the field gives me kind of encouragement and hope that we actually might be able to make it very big in coming days.
And you are looking at entire valley, or only Baramulla? You're starting with Baramulla, right?
We could be starting from maybe a constituency or two in the upcoming parliamentary elections.
Are you indicating that there would be more people with you?
There are a lot of people now.
No, I mean to say contesting.
Yeah, obviously we could have many, many more people. It depends on as and when the situation demands, because these are finally the matters of strategy.
Only parliamentary or assembly
I
elections?
think these are questions of strategy. I have been deliberately rather ambiguous about certain questions, because these are finally related to electoral politics and our winning strategies. So I would prefer not to talk about a few things.
Not at all. And do you think the rest of the political parties, as I already mentioned, NC, PDP and all, they have failed people in any way?
I mean, there is a political vacuum in Kashmir this time. We have seen an absolute estrangement of an entire young generation of Kashmiris and Jammuites who do not associate, who do not identify with the electoral politics the way it is happening. It does somehow reflect a kind of failure of the way things have been happening. I won't blame a particular party for that, but I believe that there has been a problem over the last few years.
Right. So Faisal, also tell us, how are you looking at the names, the perception that is being created? What do you think? How are you going to change that perception?
Kashmir is a conflict zone, so when I got into civil services, some people would still say that it's maybe Government of India which got me into civil services. But then that's how it is. And when Imran Khan became a prime minister, people said he is an army man. When Kejriwal became a chief minister, people said, come on, he was just a prop of somebody else. So in places like ours, it's very easy for people to label others. So what I'm looking at presently is that I should have my purpose clear in my head. And once because that's clear, so these labels they may go one day, it'll take definitely.
What is the purpose?
Purpose is to bring change. Purpose is to give hope to people. We are presently in a very despairing situation in Kashmir. So this time the purpose is to tell people that even in these circumstances we can possibly bring change, and we can bring in an alternative, and we can bring in some kind of politics which will help us with solutions.
Are you confident you can do that single-handedly?
I'm not single-handed anymore. I think I have thousands of people behind me. It's not the situation I had begun with. The number of people which I have, I think, collected in the last 1 month has been tremendous. So the kind of encouragement which has been coming is huge. So I don't think I'm alone anymore.
You don't think you're alone anymore. Thank you so much for talking to ThePrint, Faisal. Thanks for watching. This is Rahiba Parveen for ThePrint.